God bless you. God bless you, and welcome to another podcast. I want to welcome you all. My name is Elder Dwight Kenneth Kirk. It has been a couple of weeks, everyone. The way I was talking before, a lot of overtime, extra time, and doing some other things. And once things begin to slow down, Elder Kirk will be back to get back to the Saturdays and Tuesdays like I was before. But for right now, Elder Kirk is going to do the best. I want to do 2 days a week. I don't know what those days will be, but I do want to stay consistent with that. So I just want to thank everyone that has been listening to the podcast. I pray that they have been helping you in your personal walk with God, and you are greatly appreciated. On today, everyone, we are going to be on the topic of ask yourself this question: have I pleased God? Have I pleased God? Now, let me give you your scriptures before we begin for your own study time dealing with this topic. 1 John chapter 3, verse 22. Hebrews chapter 13, verse 16. Romans chapter 12, verse 2. Hebrews 11, chapter 11, verse 6. We will be reading that one. And Proverbs chapter 16, verse 7. And when we are done with the lesson on today, we will go into a subject that we do need to talk about. When I say ask yourself this question, have I pleased God? What I'm talking about is, and I'm not talking about is you going to the church. I'm not talking about your dealings, the way things are now, how busy you are, or anything like that. I'm talking about in your personal life, with your decisions that you make. Are you pleasing God? This is not a judgment thing here. This is, my wife says something, is check your heart meter. These are the questions that we need to ask, because as I told you before, and as God has assigned me, I need to get you off of the church train and get you on a personal relationship with God. Because as I said before, the position of the church has changed, and it's trying to be God instead of you getting to know God for yourself. See, when I said, do you know God for yourself? That's, have you pleased God? That's those things, the lifestyle that He has required for us to live, and for us to renew our minds daily through the Word. Are we, you understand, with the person that we are interacting with, are we making the right decisions? Are we treating them with love? Or, like I keep my eye on these things, y'all. Now, when you get upset, you have carte blanche to cuss now. You have every right to be upset and raise the roof when you're upset. The word says, be angry and sin not. Come on now. We must please God with our actions, y'all. And when I say with our actions, as well as how we see Him, but when I say our actions is, are we showing love? When we say that God is in our life, does it really look like God is in our life? Or does it look like, yeah, God's in our life, but we got the world too? You understand what I say? I say, yep, God's there, but I'm in the world too, because, I'm doing this and I'm doing a little bit of that, but, I still love God. It's all good. God understands. God's good. I told y'all before, God does not compromise. And this is for the even very elect, even myself. I have to ask myself that question. Have I pleased God? There was a situation came up on my job. And some people, a couple of the fellas came to me and said, Kirk, take this position. I said, I'm so anti, I can't do it. And when I say anti, I think, y'all may have been listening, y'all may see Elder Kirk's Facebook posts and, things of that nature. And I'm not, for a position in a corporation or the job that I'm at, it's going to take a certain stepping down and backing off of certain, beliefs or I'm big on, if you want something from me, I want something from you. But that's not how jobs work. Jobs are like, if you're working for me, you do what I tell you. Elder Kirk does not have that. If there's a certain aspect or a certain level that you want me to perform at, there's a certain level and there are certain things that I want you to do. Elder Kirk is not big on cleaning up other people's mistakes. I cannot stand that. So my job does something wrong and I have to go do it, and you, a $1 billion company, we gonna have a problem. So the position is open and they came to me and I said, I don't think that I can do it because I may say something wrong. I may, might not make the best decision they may, see feasible for, whatever's going on. So I said I couldn't do it. And it's not because Elder Kirk is, anti, establishment all the time. The people in my job are good, but I keep my eyes open on the corporation itself. The guys are good, but the people that are positioned, that's where you keep your eyes. Now, I'm still on, okay? That was for someone that may be thinking of, moving on up in the corporation and things like that. When we talk about pleasing God, everyone, we have to believe that God is. Do you really understand that half the stuff that we spend our lives fighting, we say we believe in it, but guess what? We still worry. Now, understand this. We do worry. I think I taught on this before. We still worry. There's still things that get on our mind. You know what I'm saying? There still are things, but you understand, over time, those things fade. Sometimes things, it may take a little bit longer, but guess what? I guarantee you, I'm at the point now in my life, guess what? I know God got it. There's no doubt about it. You can come to me, tell me, the Europeans handed me this Bible. You can come tell me anything. Oh, you brainwashed. Oh, you don't know. Guess what? My faith, my friend, my faith is in God, because I know God did this. He has led me and guided me. It hasn't been man, it's been God. Now, don't get me wrong. Man has taught me some things. I'll never say that they haven't. All the pastors that I have been under have taught me something now. You may hear Elder Kirk say there were things that I didn't agree with, but the pastors that I have been under have taught me. What we're talking about here is when we talk about pleasing God is in our personal lives. Our personal lives, y'all. Our personal lives. Not in the corporate. When we go to church, we're caught up in corporate. That's when you hear that when we go to church and we do praise and worship together, and then the Spirit of God comes in when we all get on one accord and things like that. What's going on when you're home? That's a good question. What's going on when you're home? It has to be a personal relationship with God to where He is leading and guiding you in every situation. The pastor doesn't supposed to have every area. God needs every area. And when I say every area, I'm talking about the things that you cannot handle. My wife said something to me, y'all. She was talking to me a couple of days ago, and she said the problem I had with the church, Dwight, was it seemed like I couldn't be myself. Everything they told me was what they told me I was supposed to be. It could never be If I wanted to do something, and I'm witness to this, if my wife ever wanted to do something, there was always a church person to come say, no, don't do that. There was never that support of, you know what, that's good. I like that. I researched that. I found out what that was about. That was good. There was never, let me check that out and see what you're talking about, sis. It was, no, I heard about that. I had a friend. Do you know that that's one of the hardest things in the church right now? As a person being themselves? Because they're too busy trying to mold you. My God. Into what they perceive for you to be a member of that building instead of you getting to know who God is. Now I know what you're saying, Elder Kurt, that's a family. The church is a family, and you know, with the church, understand this. Church families be just like your family. Everybody don't get along. Everybody might not see eye to eye, but guess what? The unit will work together to get it done. And somebody went ahead of me and said, you know what? We are not a unit. We are not getting it done. Amen, brother or sister. Why? Because of everybody being individuals. Even though we're individuals, we need to get together to make it happen. Now, if you're a member of that body, I'm going to go here. If you're a member of this body, and for you to say, okay, God brought me here. Now, God brought you there. Guess what? It's supposed to work. It's supposed to work. God does not take, and don't get me wrong, of course sometimes there may be rocky roads, there may be things, you know, that you got to get your faith up on and stuff like that. But for so many years, and it's the same thing, then guess what? Y'all need to either up your faith in that area or there's something wrong. If it's the same thing every time, then guess what? There's some work need to be done. Have I pleased God? And I said before, this is not a judgment thing. This is not, the one thing you got to understand is, like I said, you only get with Elder Kurt till you can walk on your own too. And when you go walk on your own too, move on. You begin to get this word in you, and when you get this word in you, then you get that word to somebody else, and then guess what? That's all this is supposed to be. All we are supposed to be doing is showing the world who God is. And like I said, we're busy showing the world that, boy, we still got attitudes. We be acting up. We just acting a fool. We just, oh, Lord. Okay. I'm about to jump ahead. Slow it down here. Hebrews 11, chapter 11, verse 6. And, you know, Elder Kirk always reads from the Amplified. But without faith, it is impossible to please and be satisfactory to him. For whoever would come near to God must necessarily believe that God exists and that he is the rewarder of those who certainly and diligently seek him out. You don't get that in the King James, but here in the Amplified, it adds those extra words so you can really get what's being said there. God is always around, but he doesn't force himself on you. I went skating with my daughter today, and I was talking to her about how I used to be. And I said, Raven, do you know, a couple of years ago, if you said to me, Daddy, my friend's having a party on Sunday, I would have told her, no. You are a minister in the house of God, and you need to be in church. That's what I would have told her. And to me, that would have been, I please God. But where I am right now, you know what, y'all? I think I'm going to be honest with you. I had a good time. I don't do that. I don't go